Erica asked me to give this talk last year, and I declined. Like a lot of people, I was embarrassed to talk about money. Maybe unlike a lot of people, my embarrassment stems from having had more money than I needed most of my life through no effort of my own. It comes from my mother's side, and while it's not like private jet money, I've never had to think about finances month to month the way most people do, and I've never had to base major life decisions around money. I chose an out-of-state college because I loved the campus. I picked a career I wanted without regard to pay, and I was able to retire early. Plenty of people are born with plenty, and they react to it in all sorts of ways. I've tended to react with guilt and sometimes shame. I feel inferior at times to those who've earned their place in more traditional ways. I felt conflicted that a lot of the income that sustains me comes from industries whose interests I routinely vote against. I hit a major depression in my early 20s that had a lot of causes, but one of them, I'm convinced, was watching the 1984 Ethiopian famine on the evening news. That was my first acute awareness of extreme economic inequality and of where I fell on that spectrum. I didn't stay depressed. I've got a little more money than I need, but y'all don't need to put me on the prayer list or anything. I know I've got it pretty good. Years since my marriage to Jenny have been the happiest years of my life. She, of course, has a different experience and a different attitude toward money. She's earned hers as, in my unbiased opinion, as a PhD in literature, the greatest novelist ever to pick up a pen or tap a key. But we share the ethic of prioritizing experiences over things in our spending and of giving money away to fight inequality in education, wealth, and quality of life. Our annual pledge to BCOC, since we joined in 2017, is one of a series of donations we make every year and has never felt like a really big sacrifice to me. But I started thinking differently about giving to the church a couple of years ago. One thing that happened was that I started attending the Peacemongers class when I learned they were going to read Matthew Desmond's book, Poverty by America. Around the same time, I became aware of the Rogers Fund here at BCOC, which, as I'm sure a lot of you know, helps struggling church neighbors directly when they aren't able to cover rent or pay a specific bill. And it's a strategy that Desmond's book endorses. Jenny and I started giving extra every year and designating it to the Rogers Fund, and that's felt more personal to me. The other thing that happened was I had lunch with Erica last fall after I told her no about this talk. Told her that part of how I had dealt with my ambivalence over financial good fortune had been by teaching courses on inequality and homelessness at various points during my career at Birmingham Southern, but that I had not engaged with Birmingham homeless shelters for several years. Our lunch was on a Wednesday, and Erica challenged me to go to Common Table that night. Good old Erica. When I said no, she said, I'll just ask him next year. So here I am. I did want to go to Common Table, and I did go that night. I wanted to see what it was about. I was vaguely aware that BCOC served meals to people in need, but I didn't really know anything about the when or the where or the how of it. I went on a Wednesday night from 5 to 6 in the ministry center, where we hand out hot meals to the hungry every week, and I've been going ever since. Everybody's different in terms of what they need and what they can give, though I think everybody needs to give. I need to give money, but that's not what nourishes me. My deeper need and challenge is to stay in touch with my unearned privilege by spending time among those who have none. I need to be reminded of the artifice and injustice of this opposition, reminded that my good fortune is not a sign of virtue or of God's favor or of hard work or intelligence. I'm reminded every week at how much more the Common Table guests know about the Bible than I do. I need to absorb their humanity to enhance my humility. 5 years into retirement, I found that Common Table and now teaching the Peacemongers class, or really moderating it, as Joe Dean insists, has given me more structure and meaning than I had before. It's brought me closer to the church. As a bonus, it's also made it easier for me to say no to the many other church requests that I and all of us get so often. And maybe that is the greatest gift of all. Thank you.